with you guys? What's up with you guys? What's up with you? It is your boy West Coast, and we are live in the building. As you can see, I got my headphones on. My wife bought them for me, so when your wife buy you something, you got to use it at least twice. Well, what's up with you guys? It's your boy West Coast. We live in the building, man. Let's have ourselves a good show. You know, when your wife buy you something, you got to use it at least. It actually sounds really, really good too. What up with you, Peter? Like, I got a little echo, but I mean, how does it sound to you guys? That's the only thing that matters to me is how does it sound to the scouts, to the nation? How do you guys sound? What's up with you? What's up with you, Tone? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this too much because I feel hella claustrophobic. What's up with you, Buddha? But does the sound better? That's the only thing that matters, man. What's up with you, West Coast Gregory? I see you. What up with you, Big Sam? What up with you, Barry B. Jeezy? I see you. Sounds good. What's up with you, Carrie? Hey, my boy Carrie won a blanket yesterday. I'm gonna put it in the mail today. All he had to answer was a random question too, and he got it. He always gets it though. Like Carrie, I said if I was a scout, I would boycott when Carrie's in there because he always winning. Y'all gotta find out who his internet provider is. It's getting ridiculous. Matter of fact, let me know who your internet provider is. What's up with you, Miss Naomi? How you doing? Fonzarelli, what up with you, baby? Buddha. What up with you, man? D. Wayne, what up with you, man? Hey, D. Wayne, don't trip. Hey, I know I told you I was going to put your book in the mail when I put your other thing in the mail, but don't trip. I'm going to put it in the mail today. Want to know why? Because I woke up feeling, what Baker Mayfield said, I woke up feeling dangerous today. You know what I'm saying? What's up with you, Marcel? Hey, these are all people that won this stuff, too. This is all free stuff. What up with you? Hey, let me make sure we up on YouTube. Hey, did you guys hear that dumb comment that Baker Mayfield said about Daniel Jones? Like, I am not one to defend a Giants quarterback or Giants player or anything Giants. I really don't care about them dudes. But I will say this. I am a guy that when I hear something and I listen to it and it's not factually correct, it makes me be like, Baker Mayfield, what the hell are you talking about? Because basically what he said is like, Daniel Jones, he's not going to be a good quarterback simply because he wasn't a winning quarterback in college. I mean, and, if you go look at Patrick Mahomes never won more than 7 games in a season when he was in college. You know what I'm saying? But he got drafted, 10th overall, I think. You know what I'm saying? So, I just always think it's, funny when people go push sticking. I mean, I just think that a quarterback should never be talking bad about another quarterback. You guys are all one big quarterback nation, kind of like with the running backs have done for Zeke. With Zeke, pretty much all the running backs. Have you seen even these running backs from the past coming out and speaking on Zeke's behalf? You know what I'm saying? And speaking up and saying how they understand what Zeke's doing. That's kind of like what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a brotherhood. You're not supposed to throw your own brother under the bus. Because guess what, man, you may need that guy to speak up for you one day. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I was listening to Baker. I read Baker Mayfield's comments this morning. I just thought he just put his foot in his mouth again. Because I'm like, bruh, freaking Patrick Mahomes won 7 games in one season. He won 4 games in another season. I think it was even one season. He won 3 games. Was he there in 2015? But I know he didn't win more than 7 games in one season, which was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So, and guess what? Patrick Mahomes turned out to be a pretty damn good quarterback, right? All right, but yo, this is a Cowboy show, but that was just, some random banter I was talking about while I was waiting for everybody to get up in here. So now that we didn't got everybody's up in here now, we can actually talk about our business. You know what I'm doing right now? I'm sharing. That's what I'm doing right now currently. I need y'all to share too, because I'm sharing right now. I need y'all to share. I think that's pretty much all my little groups. I got 60 groups that I'm in that I share in. What's up on YouTube? I see you. What's up, April, Dorothy, Aaron, how you doing? Hey, YouTube is different. If you don't actually say hi to me, I don't actually know who you were talking. So I only see 2 people, even though it says it's 8 people on here talking. So make sure you put it on there. Well, hey, what's up with you, Art? Hey, man, I got my buddy Art up in the building. What's up with you, man? He's actually one of our partners here at Dallas Cowboy Scouting. That is the man right there. And to be honest with you, you guys see me wearing Hot Boy hats. You guys see me wearing Hot Boy shirts. You see me wearing Hot Boy shirts. This is the company that the Hot Boys trust with their merchandise. You know what I'm saying? This is my boy Art Luna. This ain't even my boy, man. It's my cowboy cousin. You know what I'm saying? This is who the Hot Boys trust to do their work. Like Malik Collins was in his shop, last week, last month, actually making his own hat. Like Malik Collins was like, yo, bro, I'm going to just make my own hat. And literally just got on the machine and just started making his own hat. Kayvon Frazier makes his gear there. It's called Built For It. He makes his gear there. Taco Charleston makes his gear there. Taco Truck. I know y'all ain't seen it. Look like some Von Dutch stuff, but I'm just saying. But yeah, Taco makes his gear with them. So I mean, these are all people. These are all Cowboy players, and if they trust Art Luna with his work, then I'm definitely sure that you can trust him with yours. So if you have any silk screening, embroidery, any type of needs like that, hit my boy Art Luna up, because you'll be doing business with the same people the Hot Boys do business with. Antoine Woods did his stuff there too. Y'all remember that shirt I wore on where he was throwing it up? You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Art, hey, drop your website in there so they can order some of that Hot Boy stuff, because I know people be asking. You know what I'm saying? People be asking. If they a scout, you can hook them up with my price. If they ain't no scout, I'm sorry, you got to pay full price. Shipping and handling. Why? Because we got to handle it all the way to your house. But if you a scout, we going to hook you up. Don't trip. All right, Verpy, how you doing? Leroy, how you doing? All right, I got Boss Cowboy calling up in here real quick. Let me see what he talking about, man. Hello? Yeah, man, I'm live on the show, man. It's 10 o'clock. You know what it is, man.
Let's go.
All right, shoot. So yeah, so we got a couple people up in here in the building, man. Boss Cowboy, they was just asking for you. So look at that. I ain't gonna say speak of the devil, because I ain't gonna wish that on you. But Boss Cowboy, hey, it's all good. Hey, that's what I love about Boss Cowboy, man, because I ain't gotta tell him that I'm doing a show. I just gotta tell him at the beginning of the season, yo, I do a show at 10 o'clock every day, and he know to get ready, because he won't be. You know what I'm talking about? If you always ready, you ain't gotta get ready.
And I'll be at training camp tomorrow too. So for the next 2 days.
Hey, you know what's funny? Because they was asking. I literally just had somebody inbox me about that. I literally just had some.
Yeah. What's up, though? Let's go.
All right, I'm just trying to get it up on here. Make sure we Gucci.
Okay, cool. Okay, brother.
All right, so hey, can everybody hear Boss Cowboy? All right, BJ, let me know. Somebody let me know. Boss Cowboy, you gotta talk so they can hear you.
Yo.
Oh, you gonna say one yo? He gonna say one yo.
Yeah, right.
Can I get a talking about? Can I get a? Hey, keep doing that. Turn this light on.
When the defense on the field.
When the defense is on the field, this is what they call them. Go to work. Every time I get man.
Starboy out there.
Yeah, he is.
So I left him with some homework. I said I want to see if Devin Smith in that starting lineup, especially with Cooper out. I said, so I'm be calling you. You know, that's one of the main things I want to see. Are they still shoving John Vay out there, or is it Devin Smith? That's what would have been a primary thing I would have been looking for today if I would have been out there.
Okay, boss is loud and clear, so we rocking. We good now. We good. So, yo, hey, training camp in Dallas is different than California, because training camp in Dallas, they will kick you out the building if they catch you on your phone. Straight up. I'm going to tell you guys right now. So, you know, I would just, you know, they, like, for real, at the start, they do not play. It's almost run by the same people who run them casinos in Las Vegas. Like, they do not play. So, I mean, I have a bunch of video that I purposely didn't release from this last training camp that I'm going to be reprising and putting up. So we'll get some good footage and stuff on there. But we're definitely going to have some people who, you know, some writers. You know what I'm saying? Some people who, the good thing about a writer is a writer, you know, they don't have to necessarily, you know, have a video. Why? Because they write so they can literally, you know, one thing I love about Boss Cowboy is his writing is so imaginative and so direct that, you know, you can just read and you can definitely, you know, feel as if you were up to speed on anything that you missed from not being at training camp. So that's something that I can definitely trust, because that's what I did all last year. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do every year. You know what I'm saying? So the only people who are allowed to get up in there, they only have the reason being is because, you know, when you get back to Dallas, you're in preseason game number 3. That means this is going to be your starting offense. This is going to be some stuff of what you should start seeing come regular season. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is in regular season. When it's regular season, you can't go up in the star and just sit there and record practices. Jerry Jones will come out and slap you himself. It don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? But But boss, man, but we're gonna be excited to get any information out of training camp, any insides and tips, so that we can definitely have a better example of what's going on each and every day. But man, I'm happy you brought up Devin Smith, man, because I did a video on Devin Smith. I just dropped it. You guys gotta remember, man, it's so easy for me to just pump out a bunch of videos about Tony Pollard, or pump out a bunch of videos about Dak Prescott, or even punch out videos about Ezekiel Elliott. But guess what? There are 90 people on this team. And guess what? All 90 of them deserve their fair shot from the fan base to make this team. But I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of guys that are not going to make this team in your hearts and minds because you don't know them. Straight up. They're going to get in the game and you're going to be like, I don't like him. Why? Because you don't know him. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we try to pride ourselves here on, making sure that you know him. Because I'm going to be honest with you. When you be at training camp the way we were at training camp almost every single day, and you seeing these guys out there practicing and doing their thing, these preseason games are way more interesting when you know who they are. Like, they're way more interesting. Can I get an amen on that, boss?
Oh, man, it's way more interesting. Like, I was actually watching the game at a friend's house. He was like, "You watching this trash?" I'm like, down to the last second, down to when Webb reverse field, the very last play. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, because I'm interested in Webb. I was interested in all of it because all of them to a degree have a value, and there are sleepers that you have to be looking for, that you have to make sure that they're not swallowed up in politics.
Absolutely. And hey, man, you were absolutely right, man. And I want to shout out to the Weber family, man. Shout out to that love y'all showed us on social media yesterday, man. I appreciate that. If you know what the post I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But either way, I'm gonna shout out the Weber, the WEBER family for showing Dallas Cowboys Scouting some love yesterday on their post. But yo, man, you absolutely right, man. When you were at training camp and you seeing these guys perform, and even the guys that you continue to see them mess up, it makes you want to watch this preseason game, because I'd be really wanting to know, like, damn, is Mike White just not good, or is he just this? You know what I'm saying? Or is my boy number 5 going to actually play? Or is Kerry Hyder just a guy that be dominating at practice? Or does he dominate too when he around people he don't know? Or I'm going to give you another one. This Joe Jackson guy. Because Mike Jackson, he ain't really been a whole lot. But this Joe Jackson guy, is he really the better of the two guys from Miami? God dang right. Joe Jackson be killing at practice, and he be killing in the games. You know what I'm saying? Now, hey.
Preseason is the business. But preseason only really grows on you when you develop a dive for football year-round. If you just decided to have an appetite for football now, you won't be hungry for preseason. But if you've been through the draft process with West Coast and Boss Cowboy and all the other shows around, if you've been through free agency, if you've been reading articles and familiar with Marshall's picks and familiar with the draft and familiar with contracts and familiar with the politics that's going on between different players, and you're very familiar with short leashes versus 9 lives and the terms we use to explain the culture of Dallas, oh yeah, you glued. You glued in. So I would always challenge people, either starting now, to don't develop an appetite for football when football starts. Start having an appetite for football when the real business of football starts, and that's after the Super Bowl. It's like really starts right after the Super Bowl, and we go right in the draft mode. So once you kind of go through that, and you go through evaluating players, and then some of those players, because a lot of the people that's on West Coast in our list that we posted on our pages are actually on our team. We had Westry as one of our picks. We had Weber as one of our picks. We had Pollard as one of our picks. We had a lot of people that's currently on our team that we wanted on our team. And so when they're actually on your team, you better be bought in. So the way that you develop an appetite is also having an appetite and staying hungry year round for it.
Yeah, and when we say they were on our picks, what we mean is when we do our thing, we don't actually pick like we're gonna take this guy in the 4th round. Like, we do a little mock draft playing around stuff, but we end up arguing between each other more than we actually doing drafts. So we kind of killed that. It's funny because we just both nonchalantly just killed it because it was more drama than it was anything else. But
we put out like
let me
picks
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
So it's over 400 to 500 potential draft prospects.
Exactly.
Right? So we don't go out there and pick all 400 like some do. Some people, they'll post everybody, so if they get one, they'll say, see, I was right. No, we hone it down to 70 that we feel like are ideal for the Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys. And that's what we did. We did our bet. And that's why I think when we started our draft process, it was kind of hard for people to grasp onto it at first. But then once we started doing it more and people started watching more, they understood, because it made no sense for us to be freaking scouting like the number one quarterback in the draft. Why? Because we were not drafting a quarterback. So it didn't, like, on my list, I didn't put any thought in even looking at him. You know what I'm saying? Right. We looked at the 50 best ideal players for Dallas Cowboys. And out of that 50, I think 7 of them are on this team right now. So, I mean, that's about as good as you can get.
About us too.
Yeah.
It's also, that is, out of 500 prospects to land about 7 on the team, that means that our eye was in sync with Dallas' eye. Yeah. You know what I mean? That mean, and that's good. That means we know our team. We know what they looking for. That's why Chris Westry makes sense, and why we was looking at him, because we know Chris Richard likes tall corners. Yeah. So he wasn't the only big corner we was looking at. We was looking at also the guy that was across from him from Kentucky. That's with the Texans right now, because he's also a big corner. You know, so it's about knowing your team, evaluating, and then it buys you in the preseason, and so that you can make. See, because one of the things I'm not liking right now is what's going on with Weber. I'm not liking it. It's like, why is he going backwards? You know, it's like, what about his play is making him go backwards? Did y'all already predetermine he's going to be a practice squad guy? Is he already kind of predetermined to be cut? Because from what I'm seeing on the field, he deserves more chances, such as like Cooper Rush and Devin Smith getting ready to get. It's like, you got to give him a chance to win the crowd.
Absolutely.
Don't put him out there with the worst and then be like, why didn't he do good? It's like, no, just like you did with Mike White. You said, okay, let's put him with better protection, let's put him with better weapons, and let's evaluate him. Why did you go backwards with Weber? What has he done?
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to keep it real with you. My boy Weber not playing, or playing toward the end of the game, that ultrally surprised me, because I actually picked my boy Weber as a guy, as one of my top 5 change, because you guys know I do a video where I say like 5 things I want to see differently in this preseason game. And I think like my third one was I actually wanted to see Mike Weber with the starting offensive line. Like I said that verbatim. I felt that he ran the best in the 49er game, but he didn't get rewarded for running good. He actually got demoted. Like he played less, and then he played in a more nasty muck time. Like he needs to play. If you're going to give this kid the legitimate opportunity, he needs to play the same time that Pollard plays. Like, my thing is this: Pollard is not doing so much more than Mike Weber at practice that it would warrant that push. But what I honestly think, and honestly, I hate it for Pollard, because Pollard's being used. I'm just being honest with you. He's being used by the organization, because a 4th round pick and a 6th round pick, it's about $15,000 of difference. Like, it's not a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't believe me, go look at what Rico was making and go look at what Dak Prescott was making. They were damn near making the same amount of money. They were damn near making around the same amount of money. So, when you look at that, there, just the financial ramifications for it, there ain't really no financial ramifications for it. You can play a 4th round pick just as much as you can play a 6th round pick or 7th, wherever my boy was. So the fact that he played well that 49er game and didn't get the opportunity to try to like solidify and grow on that was just weird to me. You know what I'm saying? That was weird to me, and that was a huge surprise in that in that Rams game is the fact that he lightweight got demoted. And I think it's 100%.
Talked about
go ahead.
Politics in football.
There you go.
And see this, and this is what I mean. Sometimes you have coaches who try to keep it pure competition. Parcells was that way. You can say Sean McVay is that way. You can, Sean Payton is that way. Obviously Belichick is that way. they asked him about Gordon Belichick, and he said I made a statement about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you? Hey, let's do it real quick. You're Belichick. Hey, so you made a statement on Wednesday about Josh Gordon. Do you want to elaborate on that?
No, because I made a statement.
Okay, but do you want to elaborate on the statement, Mr. Belichick?
No, it's in my statement.
All right, Mr. Belichick, you have a good day.
Exactly. See, when you keeping it about football and not trying to mix PR and trying to keep your team popular, staying in the headlines. See, we try to mix football with headlines.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yes.
that's why you throw Pollard out there instead of just saying, okay, and then you say Zeke who? You know, because, oh, yeah, that's headline stuff. You know, yeah, it's funny, it's cute. It got you like the talk of the town for the week, but it's opposite of what people that's focused on football are doing.
Yep.
You know, when you focused on football, you're trying to kill distractions. You're not making distractions out of your top 3 players like we do. Like, if some people say, yeah, it's just tongue in cheek, I was like that 2 days ago, but I'm gonna tell you something. As the time elapses, the worse that statement is. Because when we make that like, okay, this deal must be done, that's why you're joking. But the more this deal doesn't get done, it makes that joke less and less funny. You know? So it's one of those things to where you have to observe the politics of the Cowboys and then also say something about it. That's why I told my boy Starboy, you know, today I said really look out when they run out with the starters. Is Devin Smith a part of that group?
Because that's going to let you know some politics right there if he's not, man.
Right. Because, see, now the crowd is beginning to kind of call for him. The crowd is beginning to say, Smith. You're starting to hear the name, right? I saw it on Botch show. I saw it on Law show. I saw it, you know, it's been mentioned. I saw it on Talking Cowboys. It's different. Obviously, me and you talked about it. So we all seeing the same things. We seen an emergence, and we asked for it last week. We said last week, what we want to see is a separation between John Vay, and we want to see if it's going to happen between Devin Smith and Wilson. And obviously Wilson couldn't make his case because he's out, but the people that was out there made their case. And if you made your case, you had to come out and say, based on the defendant and the prosecution, you had to say the person who won the case was
Devin Smith.
So since he's won the case, and it's obvious to the film where we all are public participants, then we should see Devin Smith. If we don't, then that means we still got politics and PR as part of our organization and favoritism and ego. And if we're seeing that, we should be calling it out.
Exactly. And that's what, you know, we had some people asking, did Mike Weber play good in that San Francisco 49er game? Mike Weber was the best running back in that San Francisco 49er game. He was the only running back who had an actual pro play. He had 1.5 pro play, but his big pro play was when he went to the left hand and then stuck his foot in the ground, turned all the way back around, and went the opposite way for 11 yards. The exact same thing he did in the blue and white game against the second string defense. So, I mean, they both had the same amount of carries, but this is the thing about it. It's like, if you're just looking at the eye test and you're looking at, man, Mike Weber should have an opportunity. He should have an opportunity, but the real reason why I think it is because at the end of the day, like my boy Clarence Hill said, posted something the other day, and I put it in the chat box, and he basically said that we need to stop all this thoughts of having Mike Pollard as our number 1 running back, because that's not what the Dallas Cowboys view him as. They view him as, I'm gonna try to see if I can find the tweet real quick. They view him as here we go. And actually, it was my boy John Jack. And if you from Texas, you know who John Jack is. You know who John Jack. John Jack he's in the organ. He's sticking through with the organization. And this is what he said. He said, stop thinking about Tony Pollard as a starter, no matter how good he played Saturday. The Cowboys want him to be Tavon Austin-ish, 2015. That season, Austin had 473 receiving yards, 434 rushing yards, and 9 touchdowns. He had 104 touches, 52 receptions, 52 carries, an average of 6 touches per game. And that is how the Dallas Cowboys want to use Tony P. So, I mean, that's why it made even more sense that since the Dallas Cowboys, have an understanding of what they want to use him for, to use Mike Weber, man. Yeah, to use Mike Weber.
Say that again. See, that's what I hate, man. Is when you already know how you gonna use this guy. Like, you're not tricking me. You're not tricking West Coast on this 3-down back and can carry the load stuff. I mean, just the missed block alone should put question marks on 3-down back potential, right? Because Zeke would have cut that guy. He would have cut him down like a tree. You know what I mean? Just like he did with the Rams so many times, and like the things that people don't see that Zeke does very well, and that's block. Like Zeke, for instance, in the Tampa Bay game, knocked the defensive end on his butt twice and was crunk about it. All you got to go do is watch the show All or Nothing. They actually have a term for it. It's called double plus. Right?
He's like, I got a double plus. I got a double plus.
I got two.
Two double plus.
Two double pluses. So double plus means you knock the defensive lineman on their butt for a running back. So that's it. But to see, he wasn't running off the field.
He was ecstatic
about the run. He was ecstatic about that. I just knocked the defensive lineman on their butt twice. And he was like, I got two. That's somebody that takes pride in the whole game, not just the sexiness of the game. Because it's sexy when you running the ball. Everybody see you. But it's not sexy when you blocking for Dak. Because everybody will see Dak throw, but they don't see the chaos and the collisions. And what gives him clean pockets is the people that make the sacrifices for him. And Zeke is that guy. And so when you see him miss that block, I saw people that blame Dak for that. Here go Dirk, taking sacks again. First of all, I want you to understand, it was a play action.
It was play action. That means he's releasing.
Yeah, and you have to turn your back to the defense in play action because you're faking an action of run.
Exactly.
So that's what a play action is. You turn it around, you fake it to the running back, and then you pick your head up. If they in your face by the time you pick your head up, you can't put that on Dak.
No. And then also you got to remember, and you also got to remember this, and you also got to remember like this, on a play action, what is the offensive line selling? They're selling run. They're selling run. Why? Because it's a play action. Everything about the play is going to resemble run. So your running back has to. And think about this. Like I was up late last night and I was debating. I wasn't even really debating somebody because like it's so funny because people were saying that it was Dak's fault. I had people saying that it was the offensive line fault. Then if you actually watch the game, Moose, who is Moose? Who is Moose to the Dallas Cowboys? Oh, man, famous fullback. All right, Moose says, very well. The first thing Moose says comes out of his mouth is, Tony Pollard, young running back, he just totally gets beat. Young running back has to learn that he has to be able to get in front of those blockers, get that pass protection block. As a young running back, that's what's going to keep him on the field. That's the first thing that comes out of Moose's mouth. Why? Because the offensive line was selling run. But you got to pick up anybody that's in your face. And to be honest with you, let me tell you something, boss. Jerry Jones was drunk. He was lit on Saturday night after that conference. And when people are drunk, I'm going to tell you what happened. They get that liquid courage and they start telling the truth. They asked Jerry Jones some real questions and he gave you real answers on both. They asked him about Zeke, and guess what? Obviously, he was mad at Zeke because what did he say? He said some shady stuff about him. Oh, Zeke who? But at the same time, I think his not necessarily expectations, but I think a little of the glitz and glamour that he had all wrapped up in Tony P, a little bit got chipped when he saw that block. You want to know why? Because that block happened on play 9. And Jerry Jones was still thinking about it 3 hours later. Yes. Jerry Jones was still thinking about it.
Say it again, bro. Yeah.
Because he knows how important it is.
Yes.
And think about this, Dak isn't signed. So how can you have Dak on a 1-year contract taking hits like that?
Right. And that could have been real bad.
But you get what I'm saying? Hey, Boss Cowboy, you always elaborate stuff better than me. But you get what I mean, though? Like,
man, all the way. Like, I'm going to speak about one more thing to the play, and I want anybody to go back and pull it up. Well,
inbox me. I'll send you the film.
I heard somebody trying to blame Witten. They said Witten whiffed on the block. I said, that's not the design of that play. Like you said, the design of the play is to make it look like a run, but it's actually a pass. So what Witten does is he does a chip, and the chip is only where you hit the defensive end just to slow him down. That's all you do.
Yep.
He did what he's supposed to do. He chipped him, and he released into the pass.
Yep.
They called it a whiff. Anybody that knows Witten knows he's not going to whiff on a block.
And if he does, he's going to double back. And if he does, guess what? If he does miss the block, he's going to come back and try to get it. That's where you get the holding from. But he didn't. He chipped and turned around and put his hands up.
And when they say whiff, that's like a coward. That's like, that's more so what Pollard did. You know, what Pollard, he didn't want none of that action. You know, he didn't. And it's one of those things, I want to see the effort. Like, if you lose, you lose. But I want to at least know that you brought everything in your power to stop this person from hitting your quarterback. And so it was basically a lot of people talking about the play that don't understand the design of the play.
Yeah.
And how really play action works. So like, also speaking about Jerry in that moment, it's something that has to stand out to you. Like you said, he was speaking about it 3 hours later because it also kills the whole narrative that you said, Jerry, that I can see him carrying the load.
You can't carry the load if he's doing that.
Yeah, you can't carry the load if you're doing that.
Nope.
Like, and so if we gonna talk about the runs and all of that, which he was good, he looked good. You can't take that away from Pollard. If the runs look good, the catch look good, the getting the field look good, the balance after the hit to the touchdown looks great. All of that was wonderful. But if you just really truly grading the film and you saying, okay, let's grade it all, you have to take off marks for that pass protection because, yes, we dug out of it to a touchdown, yes. But that also could have pinned us deep. And under Linehan, we would have gave him a short field.
Bro, that drive would have been done. I'm going to be honest with you, that drive would have been over. It was second and 22.
It would have been a screen to punt.
Yeah, it would have been a screen play to a punt. It was second and 22 at that point right there. Second and 22.
Yeah. And
Scott would have definitely gave up.
Well, Kellen Moore, which I like what he did, is he did a draw play, was to try to make it at least third and measurable, which brought it to 3rd and 7. And then they pulled a curveball out and went deep.
Yeah.
That was un-Linehan-like. So, like, most of us would have expected Dak to go for the chains, too, right? Which is the smart play. I'm not mad at you ever going for the chains, but the fact that we took a deep shot on 3rd and 7, pinned deep,
that's Dez Tony Romo. What you talking about? He had the one-on-one. Yeah. That's what, if you look at the tape, this is what I'm going to tell you. On that 3rd and 6 play, right? If you look at the tape says go deep. Because you have the one-on-one, you have no over safety help. The only difference is, before, we would look at that and be like, I don't want that. Go get the first down. But that's the difference. That's the difference between, and guess what? You pay him, you get more of that confidence. That comes from being confident of knowing that if I don't get this, no one's going to jump on my back.
Right.
Because that's the right play to make. You have one-on-one, and then at the end of the day, you know what you say to your receiver? You say, my guy is better than yours. That's why I did that play. You want to know why? Because I felt in one-on-one that the guy that I practice with every single day, Michael Jeezy, is better than him.
Right.
That's why you do it. I love it, man. That's freaking football, baby.
I'm being honest. I like the change. I like going for the change more, but I'm not mad at the aggression at all. I don't know if it came from Kellen or it came from Dak. I don't know who it came from. But if it came from Kellen, I'm happy because that shows me he's willing to try to change the field position quickly. I like that. Especially when we dug deep. He's like, I'm going to go ahead and try to swing for the fences real quick. I like that, you know what I mean? But I also don't want that as becoming a major part of our game. I still like us with slow, measurable drives, controlled drives, but the risk with controlled drives and slow drives is one error can kill a drive. One holding penalty kills a drive, right? But when you're a team that's trying to score and you're trying to score quickly, that makes the vertical ball that much more important.
Yeah, and think about this. We're a team that haven't been very vertical ballish. So guess what that means? Teams are going to kind of take that in consideration. So you're going to get some. You know what I'm saying? The same thing I said about Tony Pollard. Same thing I said about Tony P. Like, Tony P, you got to realize that what? Just because they in the NFL don't mean they know how to tackle real good. You know what I'm saying? So what does that mean? Keep your feet moving. Because that means keep your feet moving and you might accidentally break a tackle. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because these guys don't tackle good. That's just what it is.
Excellent point. The fact that people think that we always go
conservative.
That opens up the deep ball. That opens you up to get hit real deep. Because, see, last year, that's why Cooper was saying, they sitting on our routes.
Philadelphia game, if you would be exact. Philadelphia, to be exact.
Yeah. And he also said it the Redskins. He said it 3 games. He said it 3 games.
But I'm just saying, when he actually told the media, when he actually said it to the media and to Dak.
He told the media 3 games. And he told the same person 3 times. It was... I just so happened to know it because I was looking for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's when I saw that he was low-key throwing Scott under the bus. They was sitting on our routes. And he said it 3 games. They've been sitting on our routes. They've been sitting on the... So what does that tell me? If you said 3 different games, the same thing, that's saying that the defense is attacking you the same way.
Yep.
They basically saying they don't go deep, so you might as well sit on everything.
And you know what that also lets me know? That when they're watching film, they're actually watching a vendor's in game. Because if you was watching film, you would freaking see that. That's why, like, when people try to tell me, no, it was the offensive line's fault, or no, it was this person's fault, I'd be like, you know what, bruh? I'm going to just watch the film, and I'm going to tell you what I see on film. You know what I'm saying? If we agree, then we agree. You know what I'm saying? If we don't agree, then guess what? I'm not going to change my opinion just because somebody, I'm not, just because they look, I don't need, that's why I tell you folks, like, I don't need Jerry Jones to validate my thoughts of as what I have in my mind for football. Like, Jerry Jones, like, when it comes, like, Jerry Jones may know more about the contract situation and stuff. Why? Because he knows there's more ins and outs stuff. I get it. Warranted that. But when they get on the football field, bro, it's all even. Like, I can know just as much as Jerry Jones is. Why? Because, bro, I play football. I immerse myself into the art. You know what I'm saying? I do everything I can to better educate myself. You know what I'm saying? On whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to football. So when it's to that aspect of the game, yes, we can know as much as Jerry Jones. You know what I'm saying? The only difference is he gets the film instantly and we get the film 2 days later. You know what I'm saying? But that's why Jerry Jones knew right then. That's why Jerry Jones knew right then when he said, yeah, he can't be letting me getting my quarterback killed either. You know what I'm saying? And think about this. Tony Pollard just learned something very interesting too about the Dallas Cowboys. And that is what? If you mess up in a game, your owner might take a shot at you. Because he did.
Yep.
Welcome to Dallas. Welcome to Dallas.
Yeah.
Like, who would say that about a rookie, bruh? Like, you say, you don't say that to the media, bruh. You say that to him. Like, think about this. Yeah. Jerry Jones don't even... Tony Pollard on the team. Why couldn't you just walk up to Tony P and just tell me that? Like, why you got to tell the whole media that?
Right.
But because that's how they do business. Like, that's how they do business. Like, that shouldn't surprise people.
See, people take that for granted too, West Coast. Can I just get just 1 minute?
Yes, absolutely. Rock it.
A little bit. See, I was talking to Schwam, who plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars now. He was an ex-tight end from last year. Okay. And he talked about the nerves that's built into the game on why he was doing stuff like dropping routine passes that rookie's year, his first preseason game, right? So think about what he said, the nerves that's built into the game. Add on top of that the weight of ownership, your ultimate boss and the person that oversees your future speaking negatively about you. So it actually adds to that pressure. And then add to that when you think about what happened with Dak with Paxton Lynch. When Paxton Lynch, we missed him, and Dak was drafted to be the backup to Romo and Kellen Moore, just think about walking into your job and you hear on the intercom, your boss say, I think we messed up by hiring Marcus Smith, boss Cowboys, Tyson. We really should have went with Buddha. We really should have went, and that's what you hear as you're walking in the door. Is I feel like we messed up with this guy. And so the same thing to your point with Pollard is like some things, because we try to mix business with football so much instead of doing what Belichick did. We said I made a statement about it. I'm done.
Like, if you want any more on this subject, go read that statement because that's all I got to say on it.
because that's when football is first.
And guess what? Josh Gordon was this big. He was one day. That's it.
PR, headlines. You say stuff like, none of my players are going to take market value. I'm not giving any of them market value. The top three with Cooper, Dak, and Zeke. You throw them under the bus. Yeah, you made the headlines. Yes, it's going viral, but it's at the expense of your core players.
Yep.
You know? And so it's one of those things to where I wish me and you, West Coast, had less to talk about with that.
Yep.
I would rather us talk football, but we always have to put our nose in the politics and the PR of football. And it's just so amazing that they preached, especially with Dez, that how he was a distraction, but they're constantly distractions.
Yeah. Hey, that's why I get on. That's why I be lightweight getting in my feelings sometimes about Zeke, because I be like, man, how people make him out to be this immature, just rudely, just always in trouble, doing some guy. But Jerry Jones then took 2 shots at him. I know for a fact, the rushing leader comment and then the Zeke who comment. And guess how Zeke has responded? Neither one. Didn't respond. You know what he responded? He responded through his attorney. And you know what they did? One single tweet that had like 17 words. You know what I'm saying? Jerry Jones can go on a full interview and make outrageous comments about you, and he doesn't even make a comment about it, but he's the immature one. It's amazing. It's amazing. And think about this. Even if you didn't want to even if you wanted to make a deal, do you make like the ultimate decision? Like, I would rather the Dallas Cowboys just come out and say, look, we're not going to pay you. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, what fans don't realize is Jerry Jones has already said he's gonna pay him and has already offered him a contract. So this whole Zeke is not worth it, or he needs to honor his new contract, none of that means anything, because Jerry Jones has already admitted that he's outplayed the contract, hence the reason he offered him a contract.
Yeah.
Duh.
Right now. So they pretend as if Zeke decided that he wanted a contract at the last minute and said, I'm not going to show up to training camp. And Poe, Jerry, and Steven was still like, oh,
wait, hey, Boss Carver, you mean he didn't do... Hey, Boss, you mean he didn't...
He surprised us.
Hey, Boss, you mean he didn't surprise us like Jason Witten did when he retired the day of the draft?
No. Yeah, after the first round, he retired and just threw the whole board off.
The day of the draft, retires.
Yeah.
After being at practice that day.
Boys need to think about how big and boys need to think how big that is. It takes.
Like the Cowboys basically begged him. They basically begged him not to retire. Even Jason Garrett came out there and said that, he's still making his decision. And I'm like, what? Like, they basically begged him not to retire.
Yeah.
But Zeke put you guys in a weird position. Come on, man. Zeke is holding you hostage? No, Jason Witten did last year.
That's the big point, and that's the point that I hope people hear. I know the lawyers know, the lawyer people know this, but most people really feel as if, I ain't gonna say most, but too many people feel as if Zeke surprised them and decided at the last minute that he was going to just walk out of training.
He told them in January.
Yeah. And then on top of that, they've already been negotiating a new contract. So is that they basically not meeting on the numbers. So it's not about him not honoring it. And I said this before, I'm going to say it again. That also speaks to the ignorance of a lot of fans, because it's in his contract that he has the right to renegotiate after 3 years.
Yeah, but they're not trying to hear that. You can say, you can say it again. You can say it again for the people in the back, but they don't want to hear that.
Want to hear that? Yeah, they just want to hear Zeke not honor. Look, if they put it in there because you can use the mechanisms possible to get your contract done.
That's like being a mechanic and I'm saying that there's I need you to fix my car, but there's certain tools you can't use. Like, what? If I need to fix your car, I need to be able to use whatever's available to get it fixed. Because this is another thing. This is kind of the last thing I want to say before we move on to this Byron Jones. What is the purpose of negotiations? The purpose of negotiation is to get to an agreement. You know what I'm saying? I just sued a major company and won. We was in mediation for almost a day and a half. I didn't get how much I wanted, but yeah, praise God. But the purpose of negotiating is to get to an agreement. You know what I'm saying? That's what the mediator said. The purpose of this mediation today is to get to an agreement. And this was the key thing that she said, the mediator, who I don't think did a good job because I think she was more on their side than ours. But the mediator said this. The mediator said this. The key ingredient is getting she said the number one purpose today is to get to an agreement. So every action that we do needs to help us get to an agreement. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to do anything today that's going to take us backwards. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to go backwards. Everything that we do today is going to be progressive. Why? Because the ultimate purpose of this meeting is for us to get an agreement. We all get it. You don't want to give the money up and he want the money back. You know what I'm saying? We get it. You know what I'm saying? But we're not here to discuss if you feel he deserves it. If you're here, you're going to pay something. So let's go this way.
So real quick before we go to Byron Jones, real quick. So let's just really evaluate where the media gave Jerry and Steven a pass on where they honestly went backwards, right? Right? They honestly.
Can you say lied? I like when you say lied because you don't go backwards when you tweet it and put it in the air like it's. But we'll say backwards. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll say backwards. I'm gonna be nice today, but they lied, right? And then the media gave them a clear pass on it, and nobody really hammered them on this. You put out there, forget the straw, forget the engine comment. Let's talk about the numbers they put out there. They said Gurley is the starting point. So for them to come back, and a lot of our fans just co-sign this and look right over it like, but it's okay. This is business. No, it's not right because you went backwards and you expected him because you think you're throwing money at him to just take whatever money you throw at him. And he said that Gurley was the starting point. But they also said, but you threw a Bell contract at him. Can somebody go look it up and see which one is higher? Is Bell higher or Todd Gurley? If Todd Gurley's the starting point, why did you send over something under the starting point you said you was?
Hey, and boss, and think about this, with Dak. Think about this, because we caught him in a lie too with Dak too, because remember they said that Dak turned down they offered Dak Prescott a top 5 contract for his position, right? They offered him a top. So if they did that 2 weeks ago, because they put that information out about a month ago that he turned down a top 5 contract, right? How did he just turn down $30 million on Monday?
Right.
That doesn't add up.
Right.
Because a top 5 contract is more than $30 million.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? So you get but you gotta actually know the money though. Go look at the top 5 contracts right now in the NFL as far as quarterback. They got 35, 33, 30, 32, 30, 34. Yeah. If you offer Dak a top 5 contract in his contract, at least it should be 30. At least it should be 31, 32.
No, it should be 32.5. If it was top 5.
If you offered him, and they put that out in the media, we offered them hold on. His exact words were, each player has a contract in front of them that will make them top 5. Okay, well, all you got to do is go look at what the top 5 are making. Okay, then that means they offered Dak at least $32 million. That's why I said, I think they're going to give him 33. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because I just put $1 million on top of that 5. Now, how does Dak turn down a $30 million contract then? That doesn't make sense. Because 30 is less than top 5. That's a lie.
Each one. Because I don't want them to look it up, because most people ain't going to look it up. We gonna talk about each one. Wentz was 32, right? Before that, it was then Russell Wilson. It was after that Ben, who was 34. Then it was Russell Wilson. That's 2 contracts, right? Mm-hmm. Then it was Ben, right? No, it was Russell Wilson, which was 35, right?
Yeah, Carson Wentz at 32.
32. Yeah, then it was, before that it was Ben.
Matt Ryan.
No. Okay, so Matt is the last.
Matt's the last.
Right?
Matt's at like 30 point something.
Yeah, 30. No, he's 30 on the dot.
30 on the dot?
So it was 32. Ben was 34. Then Wilson was 35. Then it was Aaron Rodgers at 33, right? And then it's Matthew at 30.
Yeah. So that's all. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look at that math, in order for them to have offered him a top 5 contract, it would have had to have been $31 million.
Yeah.
It would have had. That's why I said at least it would have been like 31 something for him to be top 5. It would have had to been like 31 something.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't put in the media that you offered him a contract that would make him a top 5 quarterback, and we go look at the numbers and they say, okay, this is what the top 5 are making, and then he puts out that he turned down 30. 30 is not a top 5 contract.
That's not top 5.
That's not top 5.
No.
So that's what I be saying. Like, scouts, serious Cowboy fan, out to uncover truth. They don't be telling the truth, and some of this stuff you just look at it and be like, wait, what?
No, that's not true.
That's not true. And then also, I'm gonna tell you, and then another last kind of narrative that we're gonna talk about on this. You know, just with the Gurley thing, right? If you say that Gurley is the starting point, that means whenever you start, whether that be 2 years into the contract, 1 year into the contract, 4 years into the contract, the starting point will still be Gurley. I hear people saying, yes, but he didn't say when he was going to get his contract. Okay, I get it. You're absolutely right. He didn't say when he was going to get a contract. Okay, but guess what? They mutually decided that it's going to be right now. So if it's going to be right now, that means that starting point should be Gurley. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when they started. If anything, Jerry should have waited a year. I mean, that's why Jerry really wanted him to wait, because next year Gurley's money ain't so bad. You know what I'm saying?
And they still can do it that way. And see, that's what.
I mean, Zeke still has 2 years on the deal, so anything that he starts won't start for 2 years from now anyway.
You can do it. You can turn his contract up and start from scratch, which is what most people think is happening. Zeke ain't caring about that. Zeke just want to make sure his long-term future is.
Just add it on to the 2 years. Add it on to the 2 years he has right now.
They can do exactly what they did with Winston. That's why they called Winston extension.
Yep.
Because what they did is they gave him his 5th-year option. His real contract starts after the 5th-year option. So what does that do? The percentage of the cap is high now, but 2 years from now, it's going to be right in line with around 16%, which was the franchise market, quarterback market value.
Yep. He'll actually be under it, because $32 million 2 years from now, it'd actually be 3 years from now when he actually plays on it. So $32 million 3 years from now, Pat Mahomes will have already gotten his money, and if he do anything close to 40 touchdowns, he's getting $40 million. If Dak is asking for it, Pat's getting it. And once one person gets 40, 30 will be the new 20. Like, you won't even be tripping on 30 million no more. Once somebody gets 40, you won't even be tripping on 30 no more.
And then it's going to be a quarterback run next year. It's going to be all the best franchise quarterbacks sitting in line waiting to get enumerated. So you got Goff, you're going to have Watson, and you're going to have Mahomes, all sitting in line, and all of them going to be major market shakers.
And think about this, all three of them deal with.
Our fan base saying, that's where we want Dak. Okay, so that you want Dak in the middle of that. I would rather take 32.5 now than go into that market next year, which is going to bump it up to 40 easily.
And, boss, think about this. Since there's 3 of them, you know what else is going to change also? The franchise tag number. Because the franchise tag goes up. It's going to go up. So, I mean, I'm going to tell you guys right now, if the franchise tag is what's the franchise right now? Somebody, hey, one of my scouts, throw me, what's the quarterback franchise tag right now?
It's the average of the last 5. So the last 5 was 30, 34, 33, 32. Yeah, I think it's around 32 right now, bro.
So 32 million. So if you get Pat Mahomes, get out there with that 40, and all these other guys get anywhere close, that means the low end will be like 33. So you'll have a salary cap between $33 million and $37 million on a 1-year deal. That is a crap load of money.
Yup.
If you afraid, man, that's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? But hey, on another subject, let's switch this thing up real quick, man. On another subject, today, Jason Garrett said in a press conference that they had a minor setback with Byron Jones getting ready and being available. It just says they just had a minor setback in his recovery time. That's all they said. They put out. In his return back. You know what I'm saying? They didn't say when, but I'm gonna just be honest with you. You know, I'm optimistic, because usually people are optimistically hopeful when it comes to injuries. And the fact that they weren't optimistically hopeful makes me think that this hipper may do him a little damage this year. But I know this, Boss Cowboy, if he don't play all 16 games, he ain't getting paid by the Dallas Cowboys.
I think right now, Byron Jones, from me playing the corner position and understanding that you have to have your twitchiness to play the position at a high level. And I'm just honestly, and when I say twitchiness, I'm trying to see how do you come out of hip surgery and hip rehab and hit the field and be just where you left off. I just don't see it. I mean, they would have to, only way I can see that is he have to be working extremely hard on his twitchiness in his rehab right now. And he would have to be doing things that's football related literally right now. If he's still trying to work on even motion,
bro, he ain't playing with no. I mean, I would be very surprised.
We delusional to think he's gonna come back and be just what he was. It's gonna be a little fall off, you know. Now the corner position, thank God, is one of those positions to where it's the easiest transition from college to pros, because if you can play corner, you can play corner. And if you train to play corner, you go pretty much pick up where your training left off. Because once you kind of learn the principles of corner, you don't unlearn it. So whatever Chris has taught him, he still has it. But it's with his body be able to react the same. So it looked like it's going to test the theory that we said, you know, in the offseason when we said it wasn't going to be a major drop-off with Lewis. We're going to mess around and see that. Now, what I don't want to see is all this highlight stuff about Lewis and the improvement and most improved and la and booty boom and bang to bang, and then y'all step out there with Brown as a starting corner and put Jordan in the nickel. I'm going to vomit. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to be like, so all this offseason noise about Lewis, and then y'all still run out there and give Mr. Nine Lives another chance. And y'all go put him, please God, don't put him in a place to where he was at his worst. Because I haven't released the film yet, but I got the film that proves that Anthony Brown was responsible for 16 touchdowns.
That's crazy.
16, bruh. 16 in 3 years. And y'all still acting like that's not the case. And I got it all on film, from missing tackles. 2 of them was missing tackles. 14 of them was just on throws. And you know the worst part, West Coast?
What?
The worst part is most of the people that beat Anthony Brown beat him the same. In breaking routes, and guess what? It was more so third receivers. He wasn't getting beat. Like when you saw Lewis, he was beat by Adams. That's the number one. When Lewis was beat, he was beat by Graham. And that's just a mismatch, right? So you're looking at number ones and a big old huge tight end that's a touchdown specialist, right? Versus you looking at Anthony Brown losing to Mr. Irrelevant for the Redskins. The literal Mr. Irrelevant for the Redskins, the last person drafted, a receiver, beat Anthony Brown for a touchdown.
That's crazy.
And many, many examples. I just haven't released it yet. But it's like, bro, if I see that, bro, I'm just going to be so done with Dallas on this politics, because y'all raised this guy up again. Y'all have nothing negative to say. Chris Richard done said so many times, Lewis is the exception to my rule. He's the exception to my rule. Meaning, because everybody uses the excuse, Richard likes big corners. Well, how many times Chris Richard's going to tell everybody in the whole world?
He the same size as Anthony Brown, though.
Exactly. But then...
Well, I don't know about that. Come here.
Chris Richard said it with anger the last time. He said, I don't know how many times I'm going to say it. He's an exception to my rule. In other words, stop saying the reason why he's not playing is height. Stop saying that, because I don't look at height as a reason to not playing Lewis. So if they roll out, man, it's going to prove that Cole Beasley was right. That you got front office pushing those who they want to play and where they want the ball. And you know that's true, because everybody say, why don't Dak run? Why don't Dak run? Well, Dak was running, and we was rolling until he took that hit in the watched the Redskins game.
Shut all that
Stephen
down.
Jones came out and said, we don't want Dak running. You didn't see Dak run again for the rest of the year.
Shut all that down. And that was, think about this. There was that Jacksonville Jaguar game. That boy rushed for 8 yards. Eight times for 85 yards, and we blew them out. The very next week, the Redskins game, we was troubling. Why? Dak, go look at what Dak did in college as far as running the ball. Like, man, this dude had seasons where he had like 13, 14 touchdowns at the quarterback position. That's ridiculous. And I'm gonna tell you like this: if Baltimore Ravens are not tripping, why we tripping? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you go like Lamar Jackson looked like he played basketball or something. Like if they're not tripping, his first game in the NFL and they won, that boy rushed for 26 times. I said, man, they can't do that again. Guess what they did? They did 17 times. They not tripping. Harbaugh said, no, you in the league, man. We got to do what we got to do to win. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why you have backups.
Right. Right, because Dak legs is a huge weapon. Now, some games, I don't want him running. Like when he play in Seattle, no. Because, see, they come down here too fast and too hard. They got real killers and hitters over there. You know what I mean? But then other games, man, go.
I mean, as long as if the offense if it dictates it, I want them to do it. I just don't want them ever in a situation where you're running against a team. You're playing like the Detroit Lions, who have a horrible front, but they have a ridiculous secondary, and you're throwing the ball on them. Like, what are you doing? They've been a top scoring defensive secondary in the league the last 3 years in a row. Why are you passing the ball? Like, that don't make no sense. Like, those teams you shouldn't pass. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be running the ball on them. Why? Because that's what their weakness is. I want our team to just stop going away from teams' weaknesses because it's our weakness. Oh, dang. They're like the Saints game. Bro, we should have lit them dudes up. We should have been throwing the ball. You know what I mean? Because, and think about this. Dak Prescott completed, 15, 16 passes? Why? Because their secondary is not, their secondary is not nearly as good as their front. But we want to keep on running at it.
Yeah.
Like, do what the film says.
That game.
Huh?
Yeah. And you raising a good point that we say all the time on this show is we play arrogant football to where we don't attack teams' weaknesses. We just attack
because it's our weakness.
Yeah, like when people were just shocked. Zeke didn't do good against the Rams. He only had 54 yards. Well, when you running that Aaron Donald
and Ndamukong Suh
all day,
and Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah, you running at the best interior besides the Redskins in the league.
2 league MVPs. Both them dudes have been league MVPs. Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, but we gonna run at the teeth of that.
A $14 million and a $20 million.
Because we're the Dallas Cowboys, and we're not gonna let
That's
that
dumb.
dictate to us. We're gonna dictate to them, and we're gonna do it with Looney and a rookie at guard.
On the most obvious scouted play in our handbook. I ain't gonna call it a playbook. I'm gonna call it a handbook. Like, but for real, bro, you ran nose in. People always say, where was Z? I hate it, man. I be wanting to slap them folks, man. Some stuff I'll see and I just be like, yeah, I'm not gonna jump on that comment because I'm gonna get in my feelings and I'm gonna just keep going. So I'm gonna leave it alone. But yeah, man, like even my little brother, offensive line coach at Kansas, I had him do a video on it when he came out here, when he was out here on a recruiting trip. And he was out here looking at some JUCO kids. And I had him look at that 4th and 1 play, and the first thing he says is, "Man, they should have just changed the play. Like the defense won. It's okay. Like they won. Okay, hey, you guys got us. Let's pull it in. That's what you have audibles for.
Right.
Like that's what you have them for. Like, but you know what we did? We motioned Noah Brown, and he sat his weird looking self like this on his knees, and we ran Zeke right in. We said, Zeke, can you beat Ndamukong Suh and freaking Aaron Donald on one play to keep our season going? And they need this to keep their season going too.
Yeah, and they the best at that. Versus, and then I could see it if Frederick was in there.
Like, even if Frederick's in there, he changes the play. I promise you.
Yeah, still change the play.
He still changed the play. Why not? Why not? You have the ability to.
Yeah, but you're in there with Looney and you in
Xavier Sulafule and Connor Williams.
Yeah. Okay. And then,
versus Aaron Donalds and Ndamukong Suh.
Right.
And the thing about it is, people are like, why didn't it work? Bruh.
Right.
Bruh. Like, come on, man. Y'all know why it didn't work. Like, even if they didn't know the play, that's just not the play call. That's not the play call. And then we're kind of off basis, but the defense knew the play call. You know what I'm saying? We didn't call him. We didn't adjust. But just to bring this thing back, man, just to bring this thing back on Byron Jones. I mean, my thing is this, man. Byron Jones, was this surgery, if this was one of the, because at first he said that this surgery was not necessary it was some lingering, but obviously it wasn't some lingering. I mean, it sounds like this surgery has gotten a little bit bigger than what it really was if it's going to cost you to miss games. Because my question is this: if this surgery was so important, why did you wait until March 29th to have it? The season was over January. Oh my God, when did my season end? I think it was January 7th. Why did you wait until March 29th to have this surgery when you could have had this surgery in February? Yeah, you wouldn't have went to the Pro Bowl and got the little $35,000 check. I get it. But I want to know, Byron Jones, why did you wait until March 29th to have this surgery and our season was over like January 6th or 7th? Or was it 13th? One of them days. I don't know. It's all fuzzy around that time. Boss, can you answer that question before you get out of here? Can you answer that question? Why did, if I'm Jerry Jones, are you pissed at Byron Jones if he misses time, considering that he could have had this surgery in February, or he could have had it in January like Antoine Woods did?
Extremely pissed. And the reason why they really should be pissed because they was obviously trying to trade him.
Yep, that's why Stephen Jones said sneaky need.
Yeah, we have a sneaky need at corner. How do we have a sneaky need at corner when our corners are deep?
And we have,
He was looking at unloading somebody. And then you threw out Jordan Lewis as a smoke screen like he was the one when really you was looking for the big ticket guy to get rid of.
Yeah, and you also got to think Byron Jones probably wouldn't have recovered from being named that he was, because every player can't recover from being known that they're going to be traded, and still being on the team. Some people like that really messes with their psyche. And if it doesn't go through, like the Lakers, think about the Lakers. The Lakers we were sixth in the Western Conference. They start talking about freaking trading half our team and get Anthony Davis. Guess what? We fell out the playoffs. LeBron got automatically sick and didn't play no more. And that was the end of our season. That was his end.
True. Everybody don't have that Dak tenacity where they can just openly trash you and you just go out there and just bust everybody and prove them all wrong and make them all shut up.
Nah, everybody ain't got that.
Nope. That's what we take for granted don't come around every day.
Exactly.
That's why it's amazing, and I'm still speaking on Byron Jones. They say quarterback controversy is the worst thing for quarterbacks. It's so bad that it even hurt Steve Young and Joe Montana when they was controversy to each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what Dak had to play under with Romo behind him, and he excelled in it. So it's to your point, yeah, it can shake players and mostly shake most people. Most people need confidence built and boosted. That's what they did with Jarwin. When he was stanky, they just kept encouraging him. They kept putting him out there. They kept, you can do it. You can do it. And then he came around. What did they do to Rico? You drop a ball, you out of here. You missed a block.
Rico missed a block and was out 2 games. Schultz missed a block and stayed in the play.
Yeah.
Make craziness. And then Rico, think about this. Rico went in preseason game, had 2 catches, 9 yards, and a first down. I could dig it. It's whatever, though. I'm letting it go.
Yeah. So it just shows you, to your point, that everybody can't handle that pressure of being under the trading block, accepting it, and going and proving the world wrong. You have to have a real, real good amount of self-confidence. You have to have ability to be under public pressure and it don't shake you at all. And that's rare. So it looked like to me, from me reading the tea leaves, everybody read them different, but to me, I think he still is on the line of getting that contract because now you can probably sign him cheap. Mm-hmm. To where you can say, okay, we got you for now an average of 11 a year or that average of 12 a year, right? It's way better than what we would have to pay you. And we gonna be able to say it was because of the surgery.
I don't think they're going to make him no $10, $11 million. You want to know why? Because, bro, that's where they valued Earl Thomas. And you got to remember, the Cowboys, they don't care about position. They're not going to say, oh, we valued him more money because, he was a safe. No. They, that's what they was willing to pay Earl Thomas. I think Byron Jones going to have to take under 10. I don't think they're going to put him in that double digits.
10, if they put him under 10, I'd take it.
If you, I mean, he's making 7 now. I give him $2 million raise. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's
Take
fine.
it.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I wouldn't even blink at it. It'd be like, good. You know what I mean? Fine. You know?
That's why, like, if that 4th contract gets signed, the person that you probably want to re-sign is, and you probably get him the cheapest, is Byron Jones. Right now, you probably get him. This is the cheapest value you ever get on him.
And he'll take it because he seems like he the most thirsty to want to be a Cowboy.
Yep.
Like everybody else is kind of holding together and holding strong like that.
And also think about this, boss. He the only one that probably don't think. I mean, everybody else can legitimately go out there and get a deal on the open market. Byron Jones ain't getting no deal like that on the open market.
Right. Now.
Marcus Peters got drafted the same draft as Byron Jones, got 22 interceptions. People say, oh, interceptions don't matter. Yeah, that's the same thing people say. People only say that it don't get interceptions. You know what I'm saying? Just like they say, everybody's beautiful on the air. That's something ugly people say. No offense. I'm just playing with y'all, though. But for real. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to tell you one more thing that's getting on my nerves, West Coast. It's completely off subject. Why in the world is Noah Brown just considered to be just so loved to where he's just an automatic roster spot and he's again missed the most of evaluation periods again?
I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Like, I don't even know, because this is the 2nd year in a row that I have had, that me and the homie have gotten him an Airbnb so that he could, because he didn't go to the San Francisco 49er game. And this is the 2nd year in a row, bro. Like, the 2nd year in a row. Like, last year, we helped him find an Airbnb. This year, we helped him find an Airbnb. And he always liked being in the Hollywood Hills. But
I keep hearing.
I don't get it, bro. I don't get it either, bro.
Like, he's good at blocking. It's like, can y'all please tell me one receiver to where they are like really an exponential value to a team because of their blocking? Can anybody that's a scout tell me one? Just one.
Bro, you can't even block downfield like that. It's illegal. But I mean,
so it's like all these old reasons on why he's such an advantage.
My dude played 0 practices at training camp. 0. That's crazy.
And it's like people calling him a lock. What about all the people that's competing? And like, what about the seasons that he's played made you say, oh, wow, I see flash? Like, you don't see flash. You see clumsy. Like, he falls almost every time the ball is in the air, you know?
Yeah.
Literally. Like, so it's like, I mean, it's like, man, is politics is still ruling Dallas? Because just what makes him a lock and why so many people giving him a pass, I would rather see John Vay and Smith make it than him.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's the thing that sucks too. Having a guy like Noah is that somebody who is being productive is gonna get released because of that.
Right, or sent to the practice squad, and it's like, and then the biggest tip that you're running is him in the game. So like everything that y'all say is good about him is actually bad about him. I swear to God, every time he checks into the game,
you know what's going on.
90% of the time it's run.
You know what's going on because you know he's not getting the ball. Right. You know he's not getting the ball. That's why I was saying, like, I love how they were using Tavon Austin on the outside, but at the same time, I also knew that it was just a decoy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just kind of knew it. You know what I'm saying? But with Noah Brown, I know for a fact he's not getting the ball.
I'm waiting on somebody to really, with some real intelligence, explain the value of Noah Brown. I heard somebody say he can potentially be a hybrid tight end. It's like,
then make him a tight end. Make him a tight end.
It's like y'all giving him way more chances than Rico. You know what I'm saying? It's like y'all just got all this optimism.
And bro, if you can't, I don't think
It's delusional optimism, bro. It's like, bro, can some film show me why y'all think like this?
And I'm gonna, hey, before we end it, boss, I'm gonna tell you something too. And I was talking to, I'm telling y'all some of my personal business, but you know, it is what it is. I was talking to my boy, my business partner, YL, and I was telling him the same thing. I was like, man, to be honest with you, like Noah Lightweight gotta kind of buck the system lightweight, because this ain't gonna help your career, man. Because what's gonna happen when it's time to re-sign you? What's gonna happen is they're gonna find a cheaper dude that can do exactly what you've been doing. And guess what, Noah? You have no stats. So how do you get another contract with another team?
You would think
when the Cowboys are done with you and you've been doing all this blocking as a wide receiver, and then you go to the such and such, and they say, okay, we should do what for you? Why? You have nothing to go off of. You've been a blocking wide receiver for the last 2 years. Why would you want to be on a team that's a blocking? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
I'd be like that. I'd be like that wide receiver from.
If you blocking a corner, because who you more than likely go face, and you get them out of the play, so what? You don't want your corners making tackles anyway.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like that wide receiver from the New England Patriots. He did not like the way he was being used, and I'm pretty sure him and Belichick was bucking. So you know what he did? He asked his agent to ask them to get him out of there. Tell them to release me. You know what I'm saying? I forget his name, but he asked to be released like 2-3 days ago. Like, man, like, you know, that's why I think that's laziness upon an athlete too. Like, yeah, I get it. These teams have control, but bro, you got to look at your career. This little 2 years of you not doing something, getting a check for do nothing. Look, what's going to happen when they finish using you? They ain't going to sign you. They're just not going to call you like they did with Rod Smith. They're just not even going to call you. You know what I'm saying?
Man. And then it's like, and then stuff with Noah just breaks all historical football precedent. Like, what happened to the ancient slogan of the best ability is availability? Like, and he hasn't been available for now 2 training camps. And then
in a row.
And then the last time when y'all inserted him in, after also missing a lot of the season,
penalty.
He had 3 penalties. Like, immediately. And then y'all just give him a clear pass. That's why I don't get it. Like, I watch us. It shows you that there's more ego involved with a lot of our picks than football. You know, it's like, it's obviously somebody bet on him and they trying to force it to be right.
Yeah.
You know, and it's somebody at a high level. I bet you Stephen Jones, somebody said, I think he can do what Dez does.
Exactly. He was there. Let me get him off the team because he can do what Dez does, guy. That's exactly what I was thinking, boss.
Yeah, and they trying to force it to be right. So they giving them all kind of chances, and everybody else is getting short leashes. And it's just like, man, it's like, and when, you know, I'm greedy for roster spots. Because, see, if I put it like this, I would rather have Jahad Ward than Noah Brown last year.
Man, I'd rather have him this year.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And what I'm scared about is because of Noah Brown, one of our gifted defensive linemen or one of our cornerbacks who's coming along is going to get cut. Why? Because they feel that Noah Brown does something. Boss Cowboy, man, let them know where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, man, you can find me at Boss Cowboy Sports, especially across all social media. My Twitter handle is at Cowboy_boss. You know, so my article's out. I just need to post it.
There we go.
Been real busy. That's why I'm not at training camp today. But y'all, I'll be there tomorrow.
All right, sounds good, man. Hey, man, you guys already know, man, I'm the host with the most, man. It is your boy, West Coast, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. You already know what it is, man. Never look down because the stars up. Peace.